What up, anybody, and welcome to another episode of the SVR podcast. And today we have the guy that he is recently on NGW main roster. He's also RBW only and APRW only. So, special guest, may you have introduced yourself, please?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If I sound a little unfamiliar to you, it's just you. My name is DanHawkings. You may also just call me Dan if you want me to. If you want to, you know. I am a pro wrestler, of course. What else would I be? What else would I be?
As y'all probably know, he is the admin in Gemma Tragedy. Y'all have been seeing him multiple times.
Only in my free time.
For sure, yeah.
Only when I'm not, like, writing very, very bad fan fiction about myself.
Well, not really.
I wish I'd do that, you know? So, you know,
Probably in
do something
future.
with my life.
Probably in future. But who knows? Hey, man.
Probably seems like the type of guy to do that. Just out of nowhere. Hey, I'm gonna make a fan fiction where I just die suddenly, you know? Forget pro wrestling. I'm doing this as a profession. I quit. Bye.
Anyways, so basically, DanHawkings, what I have to do with you, man, is asking you 10 questions regarding about pro wrestling, such as like how long you have had a chance to be the admin of Gemma Tragedy, and you know, the influence they had in pro wrestling experience. So yeah, are you ready, man?
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so let's kickstart off with first question. So, what got into pro wrestling experience? How did you make its own approach introducing pro wrestling?
So this has to go all the way back to when I was an actual professional wrestling fan. So if I remember correctly, the first time I watched a pro wrestling match was when I was 8. So that would be 2009. So I've been a wrestling fan for 12 years. In those 12 years, well, I basically was mostly into the WWE most of my young life. And when I was young, I started playing Roblox in 2010. So in 2012, I started to play a SVR game that was basically, I think it was the Flitting that did that. Flitting, Captain Charisma, won all that. And I ended up being addicted to the game. Then someone mentioned that, you know, Roblox wrestling was an actual career. It actually was just this big thing on Roblox Sports, and I was like, really? Okay. And since I was a intensely curious 11-year-old guy, I decided to take a look at it, and I found nothing of it. Then a year passed, and I was like, okay, this seems pretty interesting, you know? I might just go ahead and do this in my free time. So that's exactly what I did. In 2013, I made a career off of, well, mostly training, but I competed in these really, really small promotions. I ended up being like a very obscure name for a very, very long time, but that's how I started. But in order to, like, you say, how do I make my own approach? Like, if you're saying that, then it's a very interesting other story. Like, how I approached it, like, fully just approached it and just said, this might be something. It actually was just out of curiosity. Like, pure fucking curiosity. If I'm being remotely honest here, pro wrestling during that time, like, was very, very, like, less obscure than what it is now. Of course it was. And I just thought, you know, small community, a whole bunch of people that just wanna be like their heroes or something, you know, I might do that. And I ended up being a AJ Styles gimmick for a number of months. and that got me connected within the audiences for the first time, and I approached bigger promotions slowly, really, really slowly, and then I became my own thing. And that's how I really approached pro wrestling, to being like this me being that guy, you know.
But this second question is, what specialized you around in your role wrestling experience? Like, what kind of role wrestling made you so special about it in this category of, character-wise and, career?
So, what made me so special about my character was I was able to do whatever I had to do to put myself in a position where I was like completely abstract from everyone, like different. And I had a way different theme song than most. I had a way different personality, a way different, method of approaching the role wrestling business in the first place. I wasn't particularly interested in doing the things that most would do. I wasn't into most of the stuff that most big time role wrestlers were doing. So I had to abstract myself, and they called me weird for it, still do to this day. But either way, it just sort of made me feel a little unique in a way, and feeling unique is a really good thing for me. May not seem that good for others, but if there comes a time where you feel different from other people, don't go ahead and try to become like this big person that is like everyone else in the industry. Go ahead and be yourself. That's all you need to do. Don't get into things that someone will force you to do. If you want to go ahead and do a character like Brian Pillman or Great Sasuke or anyone else, do so. Alright? It's not up to anyone. That's a life lesson for you, by the way. As for what specialized me in like my career, what made me special in the first place was my first moments of relevancy, and it comes in a very infamous time. So a lot of people from that time period, especially the big time performers, remember me being a very infamous guy who used to copy a bunch of Robusters attires. In particular, Invictus Diddy, because I was such a big fan of him. I still am. I fanboy over him every time I see him, even though we're really good friends. But either way, Diddy was just this very enigmatic figure, and I remember me going ahead and being like, I want to be just like him. Literally. I want to be Invictus Diddy 2, his brother, whatever the hell. So I managed to come up with an idea to copy his attires. I was the first person to actually do so. Since then the trend has caught on with a bunch of guys like Daniel Mania and etc, etc, etc. Everyone is just, like completely just copying now, and it's mostly thanks to me and my sheer stupidity. So it didn't exactly make me feel special during that. Looking back on it, it doesn't make me feel special, but back then it did, because I had a voice and people were voicing their opinion of me, and everyone was telling me to shut the fuck up. In that case, I told them, no, I ain't gonna do it. I'm just gonna keep going and going because you're old, I'm new, suck my dick. What a stupid mentality I had back in the day, huh?
Time flies, man.
It always will.
Well, yeah, so this third question is something that you really wanted to accomplish but never was able to. Like, there was a little small title that you feel like
wasn't particularly a title, alright? The one thing I really wanted to accomplish was live relevancy. Like, actual relevancy and credibility and praise. Say all those things as like one big orb, because all my career I was just basically like an outsider. I didn't really go to big promotions all that much, but a whole bunch of big guys in these promotions knew me, like Lunzo and Diddy and Brock and D-Pain and all those big guys. They knew of me, and they were familiar with what I did and how I was like. They thought of me as this interesting figure, Probably, probably not, They can argue about that. They probably don't even remember. Hello, short-term memory loss. Regardless, if I were to be more relevant than what I was, I would have definitely have felt more comfortable being a role wrestler during that time, giving more pushing to just more inspiration. But it never really came because what happened was that I felt scared that I would embarrass myself, and I still have that technical fear that I would have embarrassed myself if I were to go into the more big time side of Roblox wrestling, and it just caught on for years. And then when I finally retired, I was like, well, that pressure just got off of my shoulders. I finally am no longer in pain in my shoulders from just carrying myself. No, I thought someone else was going to do so. I thought I was going to be carried to victory and all that, but I managed to carry myself. I still feel glad that I actually did, because it led me to some pretty good choices. Like, reviving myself in NGW was a pretty good choice for me, because considering all that I did in NGW during that time, it was very, very welcoming, you know? I felt more welcome what I was. And it's thanks to guys like Travis and Scott, and I hate to bring this name up, but Mag was a very good friend of mine during my time in NGW. He was very much like the big brother that I had, but you know all what happened. Yeah, as you said, time flies. But yeah, I actually planned to retire after I had that final match with Crit Steen. You know, Crit, the guy that he's like Ishii and Kevin Owens and all that jazz. I had that match with him. I lost, I think, 5-2 for the Internet Championship, and I just said, today, well, probably marks the end of my career, and I hope to see you all soon. And that ended up not being the case. I managed to wrestle one more match, and you remember it by any chance?
Entirely?
No, not entirely, like who I faced and the score and, you know.
Honestly, some of them I don't remember.
Yeah, so basically I faced OMG Balor, aka Elijah, and he's probably one of my favorite people I ever encountered in Roblox, like ever. He always was this great figure, nothing wrong with him at all, always was intelligent. I still love him to this day, no homo, I'm taken. But yeah, I faced him, I was like, oh, I'm so gonna fucking lose, I'm so gonna lose. So I came out, King Crimson's Exiles was playing, just poorly confident, and I managed to actually win it. So, it was like the one final shot of relevancy that I had in my career, and people were actually congratulating me. Actually, my retirement post actually got, I think, 40 or 30 likes or something. Everyone was saying how much of a great guy I was, and hope for the best in your future, all that. But I'm still here. I'm still here. You can shut up now. So yeah, I wanted way more relevancy than what I should. It's basically LDR.
Alright, man. Fourth question. That is, what are the highest and lowest points of pro wrestling experience?
Highest point I probably had was being a double champion in MGW. The YouTube and internet titles at the same time. I felt so glad. I felt as though it was like my biggest accomplishment, and I think it truly was. As for something along the lines of like my lowest points, my lowest point entirely would probably have to be the time that I was like kind of like abandoned in a way. It happened in like 2016, 17. As though no one was my friend anymore in the game, because you know I'd been so obscure and you know just absent from a lot of things. But I rebounded from that really quickly. I never really had that much of a very low point in pro wrestling after that. So that was pretty short.
I'm pretty sure it was really rough. I mean, difficult.
It wasn't exactly that rough in the long run, but for a brief period, I felt like it was. But in reality, it wasn't.
I guess so. Oh man, so fifth question. What are your top 10s Pro Wrestling Uprising superstars in your opinion?
My top 10 rising stars. I don't really have much of like a top 10 in a way, but I do probably have like a top 5. Is that fair? Like 5 that I can like easily pop into my head and all that.
Right.
So I could do that. One of those guys is Jay Walter. Like I used to make fun of him for being like named like Jay Walter because Walter, the ring general, you know, one of my favorite wrestlers ever. I used to make fun of him saying, "Hey, you're not the real Walter, are ya? You ain't the real ring general." I used to be a dick to him. But me and him, he's like training son that I never had, you know? He's a funny person, he's very confident, he's always in a good mood. I think he can do pretty well after I'm gone. The second one I could say is Ryan Mega, if that counts. If that counts. I'm pretty sure it does. But, basically, Ryan Mega is our current never openweight champion in RPW. He's really good at his job. Let me tell you that. Some things may get to him, like he may be a little too cocky. He might be lacking in character work. No, it might just come to that. But still, though, times will change. You know, times they are changing. And the third one, I could say. Trying to think. Can I just leave it at 2?
Can you still thinking?
Maybe not. Like, probably 2 is good. Probably 2 is good.
It's a bit short, but hey.
I'm not much on the big rising promotions and all that. I'm not particularly onto that.
Okay, I mean, I guess top 2, I don't mind about it. Okay, so, sixth question, that is, what influence do you ever had in pro wrestling experience?
What influence did I have? So, I think main influence that I have is particularly in the gym, where I am seen as like this very like respectable figure. I do things what I have to comply with and all of that, and you know, that might inspire a couple of people to do what I did and try to be overly professional with themselves. And, you know, that might be a good or bad thing, but for me, it's kind of yin yang, you know, a 50-50. But either way, also the influence that I sadly also have is the influence of people who are copying attires all the time, the bots and the groups. I sadly take blame for that. Amen to my soul. Another influence that I have is also on character work for the people that saw me, because someone who lives with mental disorders and has to comply with my experiences into Roblox and like pro wrestling and what I could see as very much realistic in some sense, probably inspires people to go ahead and like be like a real figure, like someone that is inspired by real life, like a real personality, could be natural in speaking ability and you know, everything else. So 3 influences that I have. It's not particularly the biggest, but it's certainly a little bright. It could be bright for a whole lot of people too, so there's that.
Yeah, I could tell how hard it was through.
Definitely.
But this 7th question, if you could do anything that is different to you, what it would be?
If I could do anything that is different to myself, what would it be? Probably sanity. Have a different sanity.
Sanity?
Yeah.
What does that mean, the term of sanity?
Sanity in pro wrestling, like, more of a calmer personality, more of something that doesn't really express that much of real life views, except when I'm joking, of course. But overall sanity, like, could be like mental breakdowns or something along that. Like, probably, I've had a mental breakdown on roller wrestling. Like Gym of Tragedy, one time I was losing so much, and everyone was getting on my nerves, so I just panicked and just cursed at everybody. People thought I was actually going to like harm myself. That was a pretty interesting time. I did not take pills, so there's that. Yeah, yeah. 19, not taking any prescriptions at all. Do not like pills at all. I was a very different person, you know. But either way, so basically, what I would change is my perception on personality. If I have to, just kind of put it there.
I mean, that was back in the day, man. I mean, about the prescriptions and all that.
Yes, yes. December 2019.
I mean, the way you said about the prescriptions, that was back in the day when you was like that. So anyway, so this 8th question: what is holding you back from having a wrestling career?
What is holding me back? Real life. Of course, it has to be. That's majorly everyone's cause of that. Like, I'm 20 years old now. I have a boyfriend. I have a life. Like, I have to go ahead and get myself my own place. I have to take care of my family. I have to, get myself everything just wrapped up. Like, it's trying to hold me back. With the free time I have because of the current pandemic and how we're recuperating things and all of that, it might take a lot more time. But at the same time, it could, in fact, like, maybe earlier than I expect, probably make me leave the site. I'm not entirely sure.
So that's that hold you.
That's that, yeah. Oh, and an additional thing as well. Additional point. Another thing that's holding me back is aspirations and just feels that I could just go to college. I haven't really gotten the feeling. I've already graduated from high school, and I've actually had no good feelings about me actually going to college in the first place. The reason behind that is due to real life, just lots of persuasions and what I want to do in life. But and I have many more years left. I definitely have more time in my life. I'm not certainly wasting my time with this interview. I'm actually having a pretty good time. Anyway, so yeah, like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't graduate and I arrived in Robeson earlier. Probably would have died. Next question. Let's go.
Alright, so this 9th question, huh?
9th.
So this question, I know that nobody asked you about this, but how long have you ever had a chance to be the Gem of Tragedy? Was it difficult? Do you think you deserve it at this point?
Okay, so how long do you think I had a chance? How long? I think. Like, I never really fought. Everyone was trying to be an admin during like 2016, and I certainly was too. You don't know how I got there. I applied for it when Jim was going for a summer update, and because of that summer update, they wanted new people to be administrators. They picked me, Ibra, also I think Devin was also a part of the original list of people who applied and got it. Kingslayer went on earlier. Gaichi too. So yeah, a whole bunch of people actually ended up becoming admins. I was very, very concerned that I would not have to be picked because I just did it out of curiosity. I didn't really know what I would do if I would actually be, accepted. And I was honest, I was careful of my words, and would you know it, I became an admin. And the second part was it difficult to think that I deserved it? I never really had that thought, you know. I never really thought that I deserved it or did not. Like in the best case scenario, probably I was very brash. But in reality, that scenario was like I was really precautious. Precautious because I didn't know what people would think during that point. Thought, hey, I'm already a relevant guy. I already have a whole bunch of things on my mind, and you know, just what would I do? You know, what can I do? And I managed to, you know, be at this point, and I'm shocked that I've actually lasted this long. Honestly, I think you're pretty shocked too.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty shocked because the fact that you're the admin of Gym of Tragedy is so,
Like the co-owner, like the active person who's taking everything and just setting examples and just, you know, being that guy who's like the most relevant person in the gym. A surprising twist of fate.
yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of weird, you know? It's really fucking weird.
I mean, come on, who would have thought this guy like you will be the admin of Gym of Tragedy?
Like someone who listens to very aboriginal and very abstract music, someone who has a different mindset, different sense of humor. They expected someone like them, you know? But here I am. Here I am. This Canadian 6'2" pansexual motherfucker is the guy in the gym, and I am kind of more shocked than I am right now talking about it, honestly. uh,
Alright, the final question before the video will be ended. Well, if you could describe in one word regarding Pro Wrestling, what it will be and why?
One word to describe. One word. Does it have to also be like a sentence? Just one word. You know what? Yeah, just one word. I could say something like eclectic. Something like no, not relevant. No. You know what? Probably for this one, I'd probably be eclectic. Like, there's a whole bunch of different styles. You know, that's eclecticism in a way. And eclectic means that you or a set of things is different, also being like wrapped in one body. That's what basically what Pro Wrestling is. It's eclectic. We got clean Pro Wrestling, role play, animation, a whole bunch of other ones like deathmatch and original TD wrestling. It's just as eclectic. You know, me thinking about it in my mind, thinking about what that word represents in Pro Wrestling. No one really ever actually uses it. I think that's a very, very bad thing for a lot of people who want to talk about it. Because that's basically what wrestling is. It's eclectic. As I said, you have a whole bunch of different personalities, different styles. You have different, like, people from all over the world. There's people from the Philippines, of course, Romania, as you are, Canada, United States, of course, the East, West Coast, Center US, Europe, Russia of all damn places, even places in Africa like Somalia, like where Muddy is from, and many other countries. It's just so like cultured in a way. At the same time, it wraps itself into one thing, you know. Not every man is created equal. Every man is created differently. But in a lot of cases in Pro Wrestling, could feel the same, it could feel different, it could feel in between. That's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of seeing things like this. It's completely eclectic. It's completely just different from everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is collective because it has different styles, so.
Exactly, yes.
But anyways, that was it, folks. DanHawkings, if you have anything to say towards the outro, can you make it somehow?
Alright, that was the SVR podcast. Just before we sign off, I would say like a quick shout out to Austin, love of my life, love you. Let's say shout out to Undead Brock for being that fucking guy. Shout out to Dwayne Sullivan Jr. Only real ones know who that is. And yeah, see y'all probably on the flip side. See you at Bedlam and Squalor. That away.
But anyways, people, I will see you guys in the next episode with another special guests that are interesting that you never mentioned it was, like DanHawkings, for example.
Yep.
Oh, okay. But yeah, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, and later.